Welcome, everyone, to this session of our May 2025 Microcap Conference. I'm Alex Hantman, and I serve as an equity research analyst here at Sidoti & Company. Today, we're pleased to be in conversation with CEO Craig Higginson of Aspire Biopharma, ticker ASBP. During the presentation, please feel welcome to submit questions using the Zoom Q&A interface at the bottom of your screen. After the presentation, we'll open to your questions. And with that, Craig, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Alex. And Sidoti, we're grateful to be here and look forward to a great presentation. My name's Craig Higginson. I'm CEO and chairman of Aspire Biopharma. I believe you're going to find this to be in the biotech space the most interesting and exciting proposition you will have seen. There are a lot of companies out there that have single products that they work on. It takes 5 to 7 years to get through clinicals, and then they try to launch, and you have all of the inherent middle risk of all of that. But I think you'll be happy to see what we've done here in the biotech space. First, get through this obligatory safe harbor statement. We will be making some forward-looking statements during the presentation today. So be aware of that. As I said, we are a NASDAQ Global Markets company trading under the symbol ASBP. We have a disruptive technology that's been developed by our scientific team over about a 12-year period. And we are at the stage now where we're launching it in non-drug products, and we are in the clinical trials with FDA on other. So that's where we are today. Market opportunity, I say greater than 100 billion. As we look at the spaces that we're going to be impacting, it goes far beyond 100, goes far beyond 200 billion. So this is a massive entry into a biotech space and a biotech company that has massive forward possibilities. We do contract manufacturing where we need it. And our lead product is a sublingual aspirin on the drug side and a pre-workout product on the non-drug side of our technology. We're kind of, I call a mid-stage biotech company, mainly because we do expect to have revenues in 2025. We have several products that are in various stages of development right now. And as I said, first revenues are expected in 2025. I'm going to share just a quick video that'll give you a little bit of background as to what we're doing.
At Aspire Biopharma, we're pioneering a new frontier in medicine delivery systems where effectiveness meets innovation. Our proprietary, patent-protected nanotechnology, developed by Dr. James Zandu, offers a breakthrough in how medications are delivered and absorbed by the body. Currently being manufactured by Glant Labs, this innovative sublingual technology delivers medication directly into the bloodstream, fast, efficiently, and with minimal or no side effects. Unlike tablets or capsules, our sublingual delivery systems bypass the gut and liver, offering rapid absorption into the bloodstream in just a few minutes. This means faster relief with lower doses and fewer complications. Clinical trials of Aspire's first aspirin product are starting next week, and based on those trials, we expect to file a 505(b)(2) application with the FDA this summer. Our flagship product, a sublingual aspirin, is a natural non-GMO product designed for rapid pain relief and safe daily use with lower dosages. Whether it's managing chronic migraines, aiding in rehabilitation, or offering an alternative to opioids, our product delivers results in minutes. This is especially important in light of aspirin's well-documented anticoagulant effect in the treatment of heart attacks, where every minute counts. Packaged in small single-dose packets, aspirin products dissolve under the tongue in seconds. No water, no pills to swallow, no waiting, just immediate, effective relief on demand. Aspire's technology isn't just about pain management. We're bringing our fast-acting sublingual delivery system to the booming $60 billion fitness and wellness market with our pre-workout energy booster and a cognition-enhancing caffeine product that can help boost performance and focus for athletes and professionals alike.
I use it to give me energy, just to kind of get me in the mode of working out. It helps me to have more energy right away, which is really helpful to kind of get out of all the other things I was doing and get into work mode. I think it helps psychologically, but also physically. Caffeine is great, and really anything that can give you a good boost helps you with your endurance and how you go about your workout, your intensity. It's a lot easier to get right into your workout. You're not having to wait for 30 minutes, 40 minutes for it to work. So it's a lot more helpful, especially when you're on the go and you don't have time to plan too much before your workout. Like me, as a mom and as a grad student and as a business owner, I don't have a lot of time. I sometimes do have to go right into my workout when it makes sense for me. So this makes it a lot more convenient for me.
Mother of three. And so with that, I try to stay in shape, be active, have a super proactive lifestyle, but I need that extra boost and energy so I can have a good, strong, solid workout. This works so fast. I take my pre-workout and then I put on my spin shoes and I'm good to go. So I'll do my spin class for about 45 minutes and I can have a solid workout with some good cardio.
The science behind Aspire is clear. Bypassing the first pass metabolism through sublingual absorption means we preserve potency and reduce risk. Tablets and capsules can lose up to 90% of their effectiveness as they're processed by the liver. Any product using our delivery technology avoids that entirely. And there's more at stake than just efficiency. Long-term oral painkillers have been shown to cause liver and gut damage, two systems critical to immune function and overall health. Aspire's approach protects those systems, working in harmony with the body's natural processes. With patent-pending sublingual nanodelivery, Aspire Biopharma can help make today's most essential drugs even more effective and faster acting. This is more than a pharmaceutical innovation. It's a movement towards smarter, safer healthcare. Join us. Invest in better health with better technology. Aspire Biopharma, delivering real relief right when it's needed most.
So that gives you a snapshot of what our business is about. What we do is we don't make aspirin. We don't make pre-workout underlying drugs and mechanisms. We make them function better. In fact, some of you may have heard of the old saying from BASF, we don't make the products, we make them better. That's why Aspire Biopharma really is a innovative, new, fast delivery technology in the drug space and in the non-drug space, where we bypass the gut, we bypass the liver, we bypass the places where almost all drugs do the most damage to the system. Most drugs have a lot of benefits to them, but the one side effect and the one benefit or the one negative about most drugs is the damage they'll do to your liver and to your gut. And that's what we avoid. We have a patent pending technology that does that. And I think, again, I mentioned that I've been involved in a lot of startup companies myself personally. I've started two from ground zero that went to over $1 billion in size. I've never been involved in a company that has the potential this has, not even close, because we don't make the drugs. We don't make aspirin that sits in a $30 billion space. We make it work better. So we believe that whether it's a Bayer or whoever else, they're going to need or want our technology to deliver aspirin better. Fast acting, water soluble. We can manage dosages much tighter. We bypass the digestive tract and it's easy to use. In fact, it's so easy. This is a packet. And all you do is you tear the top off. You put it under your tongue. and you go on with life, and within 2 minutes, it's therapeutic. Now, therapeutic in 2 minutes is maybe doesn't sound that great to anybody on this call yet, but think about the idea that when you start to have a heart attack or a stroke, you feel that whatever it is you feel. I haven't had one, so I don't know, but you'll feel something coming on, and you're always told to go grab an aspirin, chew up the aspirin real fast, swallow it, and call 911, and then pray for success on that. Well, the reason for that is that aspirin does, in fact, it's an antiplatelet. It will break up things that are causing blockages that can cause heart attacks and strokes. So that being the case, our delivery mechanism versus a Bayer aspirin, for example, or any aspirin that you generally would take, in a tablet form and swallow it, our aspirin gets therapeutic levels into the system, into your bloodstream working in less than 2 minutes. Now, when you compare that to a Bayer aspirin, chewed up as much as you can, swallow it, and start the process of that getting therapeutic in your system, mind you, it doesn't get into your system sublingually because the particles are too big, even chewed up as much as you can. So it still goes down, goes through your digestive tract, goes through the liver, and gets into your bloodstream about 15 to 20 minutes after you've chewed it up and swallowed it. Any of you who have experienced people with heart attacks know that 15 minutes is like 10 lifetimes. So you can't afford that, even though aspirin is still, I would tell you that's still today the best idea. Chew up aspirin, call 911. In our case, you don't have to chew up aspirin. You pop this open, put it under your tongue, and within 2 minutes becomes therapeutic. We believe we're going to save a lot of lives with that. We also have the whole process of migraine headaches. If you have a migraine headache, you take aspirin, you take a specialty migraine headache drug, they still take 15 to 20 minutes to become therapeutic in your system. So imagine the relief of a migraine headache in a couple of minutes and starting to happen instead of 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. So it's really important. A lot of people don't realize it, but that diagram showing you the blood vessel system in your mouth, it's pretty, there's a lot of blood vessels in your mouth and veins and arteries. And so that's what we have, is developed a technology that gets through the membrane on the side into the jugular vein very quickly and into your blood system very fast. That's what we do. It's unique. Nobody's doing it. We have patents pending on it now, and we're moving forward with that. Our pipeline is really a high-dose aspirin that is now in clinical trials. We have dosed our first patients a couple of days ago. They'll now go through a 2-week period where they're not dosed. Then they'll be dosed again. They'll go through another 2 weeks, and then we'll dose them again. So we have a plan that's moving forward where we're in that process. We have done some pre-testing before we went into the FDA trials, and the numbers are good. You'll see those on a chart here in a minute. But as far as product pipeline, high-dose aspirin, low-dose aspirin, we're doing non-aspirin drugs as well, testosterone, semaglutides, the GLP-1s. Imagine that one, not having to stick yourself with a needle. You, again, tear a packet open, put it under your tongue, and move on. ED drugs and so forth. These are all drugs that are very popular out in the marketplace right now, and for good reason. And we believe that our application with those drugs are going to make them much better, much more usable, much less damage to your body than currently, because we bypass gut and liver. And so again, we don't make testosterone, we don't make semaglutide, we don't make those, we make them function better in your body. That's what we do. This gives you a little bit of size of the opportunity of the markets we're playing in. They're all massive: 75 billion, 26 billion, 4 billion, 29 billion. We're working in spaces right now that eclipse $100 billion in market, and we think we're positioned to be. We have a list of tens of drugs, not just 3 or 4 you're looking at, that work with our technology. So we believe that we're going to become a staple delivery mechanism for the drug business, not to mention the non-drug business, which is massive. $256 billion in the nutritional vitamin business alone. And think about this. If you took a vitamin C pill this morning, that C pill likely was digested in your liver and in your gut, and it took away as much as 70% of the value of the vitamin C that you put in your mouth, because it scrubs it away and doesn't let it get into your bloodstream and into the system. So, and there are many pills that are taken now that you've seen the 60 Minutes and a couple of the other programs that talked about how many of them get all the way through your system and out of your system without even opening the tablet or the pill properly. So you get very little, if none of that. So that's it. From a manufacturing perspective, we manufacture at Glatt Labs right now our aspirin product. We have 2 other laboratories that are doing our non-FDA product lines, and they're all FDA approved facilities, but they're not Glatt Labs. So we have a good manufacturing strategy ahead of us, great partners. And really, when you look at our business model, which we'll talk about here in a minute, we're not really in the manufacturing business or in the business of making aspirin and selling aspirin under the Aspire label. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is a chart that's important to digest. If you look at this chart and you see the 2 red dotted lines, those are what we call our reference range. That's a normal aspirin, both tablet and then the fast delivery aspirin. So this is looking at aspirin and the absorption level that you get. So in our tests, we've shown that, again, if you look at the blue line with the dots, within less than 2 minutes, we're at 5 milligrams per deciliter and growing rapidly. It takes a regular aspirin about 17 to 20 minutes to get to therapeutic levels. So there's no comparison. By the time you get to therapeutic levels with them, we're clear up in the nearing 20 milligrams per deciliter, and so you can see how, again, if you're having a heart attack or a stroke, you want the blue line. You don't want the regular aspirin. You don't want that. You do, because you can't get the blue line today, but for conversation, you can see how much quicker and more effective this gets therapeutic. And not only that, but again, it avoids the gut. It avoids the liver. So although aspirin is a very popular drug, it's a great drug, it still has its negative impact on your stomach. And you hear all about that, how it can cause ulcers, it can cause all these problems because it's going in and beating up the stomach lining, and we're not doing that. So that's a big deal. Rapid absorption, no damage to the gut and liver. I'm going to go past that. This is just another chart that shows the Bayer AG and the speed 0 to 2 minutes. You really have none of it in your system to 10 minutes. Between 10 and 30 minutes, you get to 4 milligrams, and you can see how ours goes up very rapidly. So you're getting therapeutic levels very rapidly with the Aspire technology. Clinical trials, we're in those today. The video talked about we're starting them next week, but we started them last week. So we are in clinical trials. Everything's gone very well at this point. We'll expect to be publishing results of that trial inside of about 60 days from now. Once we get through and get all the analytics done, our CRO is phenomenal. They're very, very aggressively going through this process so we can get this into the 505(b)(2) program with FDA. FDA put out a request about 2 years ago for products that can impact the opioid abuse problem. And we believe this is a great candidate for that. I think they believe that. We're moving in that direction. And so if you can imagine, if you will, for a second, that you have a surgery, normally you would have come out of the hospital with whether the number's 12 or 18 opioids in your pocket, and you go down that track, and you find yourself, and I've had this in my family and in my circles, people that got addicted to opioids just from a surgery, and ended in really bad situations on one of them and bad in the other one. So the FDA is well aware of that, and they're working to solve. We think we're a candidate for that as we go forward. If you walk out of the hospital and you have a couple of opioids in your pocket, and then you have a bag, if you will, of our products, where these are non-addictive, it really is aspirin. So not only is it non-addictive, but it has healing properties that opioids don't have. Opioids merely block pain sensors, and we manage pain and go to the site. If you had a shoulder surgery, you go to the site. There are therapeutic things that benefit healing from our product that don't exist in an opioid. So if you can put those two together, get rid of the addictive properties that opioids have, you can take our product and operate machinery. You can go to work. You can do things that on opioids you really shouldn't be doing. So that's a big deal. We're launching, as we said, in the RX market, the aspirin, and then we'll follow that with an OTC version of the aspirin. We have other products that are non-drug related, so we're able to launch those more quickly into the marketplace, i.e. our pre-workout is our first. We have 2 or 3 others that'll follow that in the vitamin space, and in a fun and exciting product that we'll announce later. But we've got some really good things coming on the non-drug space that are going to be our first and early revenues and so forth. We are not intending to build products that we have to brand and launch as a company. We're going to follow a licensing model where, for example, we very well could sell our aspirin to a Bayer or to a Squibb or to one of the majors. And keep in mind, aspirin is one of tens, if not 100, silos of different products that we'll be able to license specifically to the manufacturer of the underlying drug that's one of the majors. So again, we don't make the aspirin, we make it better. We're not going to dive into competition with Bayer per se. We're going to be their partner, and that's not that's figuratively. We haven't had that conversation, but logically, we believe if we can deliver aspirin safer and more effectively and faster to the system with a patented technology, we think we're in a pretty good seat there. So there are significant licensing opportunities. This, again, is just a snapshot of the size of some of these markets. You can see it approaches $100 billion in 2027 in just a very few of these, the opioid analgesic market alone. So we're in a big game and a big space in a company that's developed a technology that I think is going to turn the drug world not upside down, but it's going to make it much more effective and much better for human beings. We have large accessible markets. We're filing for the 505(b)(2) for the aspirin, high dose aspirin. OTC will follow that shortly thereafter. We think we're going to be first to market with the prescription strength of that product, and it is a proprietary technology. And I want to just touch on for a minute on my philosophy in business. When we started this company, we went to the best. We didn't play around in let's just go find one of my uncles who's a great lawyer in the patent space. We went to Goodwin, who's one of the best, if not the best. And we went to Michael Schuster, who I believe is one of the best at Goodwin. And so We did that. We went to Greenberg Traurig in DC, and Nancy Taylor, who's, I believe, the best of the best in the legal space between companies and the FDA. Her reputation is incredible, impeccable. Obviously, Greenberg's one of the biggest in the space, and that's who we use. So I say that only because we are starting and did start with the best of the best in the space. So the probabilities of success, as you know, go up as you do that. We have a proprietary technology. As I said earlier, we aren't making drugs. We're making them function better in your body. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Alex. Alex, thank you.
Thank you, Craig. That was a great overview to the business and a lot of great detail as well. Maybe we could start off with yesterday's announcement. Could you tell us a little bit about, how that first patient dosing fits into the overall trial timeline, and then, basically how that supports the accelerated approval process that you're applying for?
Sure, Alex. The answer to that is you that are in the biotech space know that you don't just wake up in the morning and say, hey, let's go do a trial. And we started it last week. That was a big milestone for those of you who know. It's not a little deal to be in your first phase FDA clinical trials, because they have to really approve the how and where and when you do those. So that's an exciting time for us. We've been working on that exercise for going into a couple of years. We're now in it. The good news is we are in that trial with the aspirin product. We've dosed, which means we have given to the number of patients that were required by FDA for us to get through this trial. And so far, so good. Everything looks great. And as I indicated, we'll have a lot of data. We probably won't announce a lot of the interim data, but we'll have good, solid data in the next 30 to 45 days. And we'll probably just give everybody a quick heads up update at that point. Having been through the exercise already once, we're very comfortable with where that goes. And we're looking forward to that happening. But yeah, we're in the trials. We come out of those trials and immediately go into application with FDA to the 505(b)(2) fast track program, as they're the ones who want to see this product come to market.
Great context. Thank you. And maybe for folks, newer to the name, excited by the platform potential and the novelty of the delivery mechanism, could you give, a little bit of context around trends in the stock price and, maybe what you think the street may be underappreciating at this point?
Yes. Boy, could I go off on that one. Yeah, I would say going into this de-SPAC that we went public using, I had high hopes and was given some high hopes for what that could be and what that would be. I'm highly disappointed in what has happened subsequent to that relative to our market cap. We went into that, if you looked at our chart, ASBP, we went into that priced at around $10, and now we're trading in the 25-30 cent range. I don't know where it is today, but it's very disappointing. Some people have told me, don't worry, be happy. That's the washout period. And as soon as all of those shares that came with your deal or through the system and, through beating you up, then the price will normalize and it'll get to where it belongs. So, that being said, coming into it at a valuation of north of 375 million and being sitting at 15 million today, I know what that tells me. But so I think with where we are in the cycle of revenues and potential profitability, and again, revenues being this year, I think we're in a very exciting place for investors.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's a great summary of the value proposition. And you gave us a lot of great, detail and updates on the story. So while we're at time today, I think there's a lot more to be learned, and contact info is on the screen. And with that, I would like to thank you for sharing the story with us today, Craig, as well as thank everybody listening for spending time with us today.
Likewise, thank you, Alex, and thank all of you who have joined the